Mercer reports.
If someone had said to you a year ago when you were 0-4 that you're going to be 5-0 this year, would you have said not possible?
Could have easily been 10-6 last year, 11-5, if a couple things would have went our way. But I think, we've learned how to win now. Last year against New Orleans, going for 2 was a defining moment. What do you think that said to your team?
That I had enough faith in them to say, if this doesn't work, I'm going to be in bad shape here. It showed the type of guts we have as a team and as a coaching staff. We started there and we've been building on it ever since. We have better players this year, and that's where it all starts, most notably on the defensive side of the ball.
Were you sick of people saying the defense stinks?
We were going out there and our offense was carrying us, but we had to pull our own weight. And the guys have been working hard, and it started in training camp, and it's really showing the results right now. I save all my emotion and all my frustration for Sundays, and it's a work of art. I paint my work of art out there.
Oh, my God! It makes it a lot easier for us on offense because they give us a short field a lot. They're getting a lot of turnovers, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the offense to go out and feel like we have to score every possession.
Does it seem strange to you that a guy could break 3 bones in his back and return 2 weeks later?
Not if the guy's Dante Culpepper. He's a quarterback, but he has the mindset of a linebacker. When he's running, he doesn't like to, I don't think I've ever seen him slide.
You threw a block the other day?
Pretty good, yeah, I threw a pretty good block out in there.
Give Coach a heart attack?
I hope not. I wanted to get in and I wanted to, get some physical contact and see how I would feel. And I felt good.
Your maturity as a player, how you've changed.
I can't make every play, and can't make all the big plays. And sometimes, you have to throw the ball away. That's the mature thing to do, not try to, throw the deep ball every time.
How has Randy changed?
I think he's worked extremely hard this offseason to become the complete player. You develop the respect for each other by working hard together, because when you have the bad times, it's a lot more difficult to get on that guy because he's put the time in. And I think the guys see that Randy has put the time in.
Does he still take plays off?
No. You think about how many times he runs deep patterns. He probably runs more deep patterns than anybody. So normally he's human. Anybody's gonna get tired.
What's Mike Tice brought to this team?
Just the attitude. He's not always gonna say things that you want to hear. First of all, he's not gonna sugarcoat it, especially being from New York. But you can respect that.
When do you allow yourself to say this is a great team?
I won't say that. The great team is a team that wins a Super Bowl. We can become a good team. I think the next 3 weeks will tell if we're a good team or not.
And again, a big one today. It's time for Chalk Talk presented by CarQuest. And Steve Berline will get the starting 9 for the Broncos against Minnesota as Jake Plummer fractured his left foot coming off his couch. And when Berline first heard
how do you do that?
He found it hard to believe.
They said no, Jake hurt his foot. He's out for 3 weeks or whatever it is. And I said, get out of here. You guys are, that's a cruel joke to put on a guy who might have a heart condition already. So.
Not exactly a guy who says, give me the football. Berline has backed
How do you get hurt coming off the couch? How does that happen?
Greasy did it last year, didn't he?
He
have
tripped.
a few
He
pops.
tripped.
The
Maybe
dog was involved in that one.
But I will say this about Steve Berline. Because he's now the quarterback, I think the strategy of the Denver Broncos changes significantly because he's not nearly as mobile as Jake Plummer was. They'll still try to run the football, and they'll do it very well. But Steve Berline does not get out and make plays with his legs. The other thing about Denver is they lose Ian Gold, one of their best linebackers. This is a significant injury situation now for the Denver Broncos. See how they come through with it. I think it's a very difficult game for them today.
It's going to be very difficult simply because they have the injuries, and having Culpepper back. What's so impressive with this team, guys, is the fact that they were able to do it with a backup quarterback in Gus Rock, able to run the football. And what I like about Mike Tice is he's got Randy Moss focused. He's like a team leader right now. He's the guy that's leading this team. They're going to be so hard to beat, and Berline's going to struggle in the Dome because it's a tough place to play.
It's a big game for both teams, right?
Yeah.
Can Denver run?
Yes.
Minnesota can run.
Yeah, they run the
Can
ball.
Minnesota pass?
Oh, yeah.
Can Denver pass? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Steve Berline, like you say, is not mobile. I bragged on the guy last week. I told you he was going to be efficient. He go out there and throw 2 interceptions. And you know what? He's playing against a Minnesota secondary that leads the league with 13 interceptions. This is going to be a good football game. But inside that dome in Minnesota, that Viking comes out on the motorcycle and the horn is blowing. I don't see it for Denver today, baby.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Eagles and the Giants. They're meeting over at the Meadowlands in a battle to avoid sole possession of the NFC East cellar. Philadelphia's Donovan McNabb has been playing poorly. We all know that. He's been criticized for that. But as our NFL insider Jay Glazer found out, McNabb still enjoys the full confidence of his fellow Eagles.
In times like these, you know, you kind of figure out who the warriors on your team. And I look for Donovan to come out fighting.
You want to battle me? I got my boxing gloves on. I'm ready. What do you got?
I'm not going to let anybody just point the finger at my QB.
If you ask me, I'll tell you that I'm just not playing well right now.
What's up with the thumb?
The difference between being injured or hurt. I'm not injured. If I was injured, I would be on the injured list. It's not where I wanted to be, obviously, but I'm going to fight through it. As a quarterback, you need your grip. You like to have a little bit of space in between the ball. But with the injury to the thumb, obviously, you know, you might bring more space to it, but you want to grip it tighter because of the injury. And at times when you follow through, your thumb has to come off the ball, so obviously that's a little bit of pain, you know, drawn to the finger. And you may not throw a tight spiral. You might not get it to where you wanted to get it on the position of receiver. But then now you have to use your body control. Sometimes my body's a little out of whack because I'm trying to compensate for my hand. No one would have been saying too much if we would have been 3-2. It just would have been saying probably, you know, Donovan's still not playing well. Well, you're going to hear that all the time.
Everything goes on his shoulder. Last week was a perfect example. Walking out of Texas Stadium, when Donovan passed that baton to us with 2 minutes left, the Philadelphia Eagles were winning that football game. It was up to the special teams and the defense to close the deal. We didn't get it done.
I am your nightmares.
We can't leave the Meadowlands 2-4. And I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't even want to think about being 2-4.
You know, once this thing gets rolling and I'm out there, you know, flying around doing what I usually do, I'm going to fight through it and I know it's going to happen. And when it does, I'll just do this.
All right, Dan, what do you see with McNabb?
Well, first of all, there's a difference between injury and pain. He's just having pain in his thumb, and football players play with pain. And I've had operations before and different things in your body. Sometimes you have to adjust to it, and he's struggling with that a little bit. But the thing about the Eagles it's a different football team. I mean, they're not able to run the football. They've been struggling on defense. They're not getting the sacks from defense. So he's not getting the support. He doesn't have the weapons that he had a year ago.
No, he's saying he's not flying around, and he hasn't been flying around, and that's the problem. He's such a spontaneous player, such a great athlete. That's the thing. Well, most of us are sitting around looking at him wondering what is going on. Now we find out that he's got a bad thumb, and I think that's the one thing that you don't want to ever get yourself into. And I would say if I'm Andy Reid, don't pull a Grady Little and leave your superstar in there. I mean, if he's hurt, get him off the field and put the backup in there.
Got to bring in the right-hander.
Hey, what about the Giants? You know, this isn't an issue about who's the best team. It's an issue about who's the worst team. And I think the Giants are the worst team in this game today. They can't protect. Ever since you went to do an interview on Kerry Collins, you flat out killed the guy. I mean, the guy hadn't been back since. And Tiki Barber, Dan hit me in the back. That's Tiki Barber. I'm in the football. He can't hold on to the ball, and neither of these teams are good enough to have turnovers and come back because their defenses aren't playing good football.
But Dorsey Levens is going to be active today. They'll take some of the pressure off of Tiki Barber. And remember, you got to protect for your quarterback. Kerry Collins will be back today. Don't worry.
All right,
you killed the guy.
No, I
give him hope, Boomer. Give him hope.
He's only thrown 7 picks in the last 2 weeks since you saw him. Still to come, we got our picks for week 7. Plus, Marcus tells us all about those Panthers who've gone from worst to first. You guys will be right back.
We want to run the ball. It's plain and simple. And then when we have to throw it, be confident in the passing game. I'll take 5-0 over being 2-3 and having 1,200 yards passing.
There's more than one victory lane.
Don't like waiting in line? At Staples, we'll get you in and out fast so you can get on with your day. Staples, that was easy.
Road game, huh? I just love road games. No distractions, just you against the world. It's an opportunity to prove yourself, to show everyone out there you can win no matter what.
It's just a sales call.
Son, there's no such thing as just a sales call.
When you're on the road, count on Fairfield Inn's inviting affordable rooms.
Son, you need a fight song.
Yeah, fight song. Right, coach, right.
Road game, huh?
At Fairfield Inn, earn double Marriott Rewards points when you pay with Visa through January 31st.
When last we left, we were talking about our Baja Dorado. Look, he's all grown up now. So, let's serve him. You're all hungry, yeah? All right, we just simply move him out, and there we go. And here we go. Come on, get out of the pan.
Cooking without Teflon just isn't any fun. Non-stick Teflon, only by DuPont.
What's with all the hype over heartburn lately? I got prescription strength, daily schedules.
All I know is hype doesn't relieve heartburn. Tums does. Nothing's faster, it's got calcium, and you can take it when you need it. It's that simple.
Tums.
Taxi! Taxi!
8. 5. 2.
23.
Zero.
Hello, Moto.
Applebee's Take Two is back.
It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby. Make a dream come true.
Choose 2 of your favorite entrees for one mouth-watering plate. Eating good in the neighborhood.
TV's best night of comedy starts with a Yes Dear Dad on Big Brother.
Hey, Julie, I locked myself out.
Then, will an old romance rekindle on Still Standing?
I told you she had a thing for me.
But I didn't know you thinged her back.
And it's time to remodel the kitchen.
This thing is old.
Easy, she's standing right there.
Everybody loves Raymond. Then, can this bachelor kick it with a soccer mom?
I find you attractive.
I'm sorry, I just took a cleat in the groin.
2.5 Men. It's an all-new night of comedy, CBS Monday. And Sharon Stone joins Dave on The Late Show.
McNair looking deep, looking. Mason is all alone. He catches it in the end zone. McNair throws deep down the left side. Mason's there again. Wow! 3 times today. McNair to Mason. Touchdown!
McNair is the top-rated quarterback in the league. He's thrown for more yards the last 2 weeks than Carolina has the whole season. We welcome you back. Approaching game time on the NFL today. McNair and the Titans face the unbeaten Panthers right here on CBS. And Marcus Allen is down there in Carolina with more on the Panthers and their remarkable run. Marcus?
Well, thanks, Jim. The Panthers, despite having one of the best running backs in the game and a dominating defense, they're virtually known outside their home state. But after a 5-0 start, everyone's starting to ask, who are these guys?
Jake back in the pocket to throw. Looks, floats it up for Steve Smith. Up, he grabs it. He's in the end zone. He's gone. No one's going to catch him. He hate me. We love you. Wow. And the Panthers are still undefeated.
What impresses you most about this team?
I think we're really a high-character team. I mean, we've got a lot of good guys that work hard, you know, are willing to prepare, and I think that's really we're a gritty bunch.
Now, I know John is big on fundamentals and technique, but he also gives you guys some latitude, some freedom to get after people. And sometimes he says, okay, don't worry about technique, just get the guy.
Yeah, it can be about technique, but sometimes you got to throw that technique out the window and just win. And that's what's nice about this coach and this coaching staff, that sometimes it just turns us loose.
Is it Stephen Davis time again? He's got the ball right side, hurdles his way in, and that drive, all Stephen Davis.
Stephen, you have other running backs in the league envious of you because you guys are so committed to the run down here in Carolina.
Considering what they went through last year, the last 5 games, they won 4 out of the last 5 and played good defense. I said, I can help the team a lot.
A lot of coaches can say that, you know, that's sort of a recruiting ploy. Let me get him down here and maybe things have changed. But why did you trust John?
I looked in his eyes. I seen he was telling me the truth. And I came here making the best of my opportunity, and he wants to win.
You know, I think a good running back's the quarterback's best friend. And I believe in running the ball, whether I had, you know, Dan Marino or John Elway back there. You know, I just think, I don't think you can just throw the ball in this league to win.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you either love him or hate him. You know, anytime you divide an offense and you got the receivers over here saying, hey, you need to throw the ball more, or running back saying, hey, we need to do this more, and the O-line is saying, oh, we don't do this protection enough. and then everything goes to hell in a handbasket there. So everybody on the team is totally committed to believing in what we're doing here.
Who is Jake DeLome, the guy who's leading the Panthers to victory?
I think I'm someone that's hungry. Nothing's been just handed to me. I think I've worked for everything. And I was a backup in New Orleans. I never did anything. I wanted guys to believe in me.
We got to throw some water on Jake on the sidelines, man. He gets a little bit too pumped up in there. He's a firecracker. He's like, all right, guys, let's get this one. And, he's going to give you almost a whole spiel about, everybody being jacked up for the play. So, yeah, he does bring it to the table.
We built the land.
We've talked about not falling asleep at the wheel. And, when you fall asleep at the wheel, you wreck. And we don't want that. So our focus is week to week. We don't look behind us. We don't look in front of us. And just stand on task. And if we can do that, then, the sky's the limit.
Well, John Fox wants to neutralize the biggest mismatch in the game today, and that's the disparity in speed between the D-line and O-line. If you look at the other positions, guys like wide receiver, DB, the speed is pretty equal, and linebackers now can cover tight ends and running backs, but the disparity in speed is pretty large in the interior line play, guys, and the best way to level that playing field is to run the ball. And, of course, sprinkle that with a little play action, guys.
Hey, Marcus, the numbers for Eddie George have been just abysmal this summer. This season? What's the story there with Eddie?
Well, Jim, I talked to Eddie, and of course he's frustrated because he's a proud running back and he hasn't gained the yards that he wanted to. But he says, you know what, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to remain patient, and our running game is going to turn around, and I'm going to be the guy that's going to be there when it happens.
All right. Hey, Marcus, thank you very much. Reporting from Carolina, guys. We're going to move right into that game. Tennessee-Carolina to lead off the picks. But first, a nod here to last week's champions. Boomer and Dion shared the honors last week.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Boomer and Dan are in first for the season.
We're tied.
You're in third,
and I'm in second. They're tied for first.
You're in third.
And you're last.
I'm in last.
You're in coach.
I've gone.
They're in first class. I'm in business class. You're in coach.
No, you don't understand. I go private. You don't understand. Okay.
Do they serve peanuts in coach?
I've gone to last, but I'm going to catch you today, my friend. We're going to lead off Tennessee-Carolina. And this is the kind of matchup that John Fox hates. He's got a quarterback he knows that can beat him a lot of ways. I would look for a little four-receiver set coming out of the Titans today. That's what I'm hearing. Tyrone Calico could be a big target. McNair may in the end even beat him with their legs. I'll take Tennessee on the road.
A good pick, Jim. Anyway, Carolina, we know they run the ball. That's what they want to do. I think Tennessee has a stout enough defensive front to be able to slow them down. We're not going to be able to run it the way they want. Steve McNair will make some plays in this game, running the ball, making plays outside of the pocket, and Tennessee is going to win.
Samari Roll isn't there. Tell you what, these guys, Carolina's going to throw the ball. They're going to surprise you today. They're not going to only run the ball. They're going to surprise everyone today. I'm picking Carolina, John Fox at home.
You picked them to lose in second.
I'm picking them at home. I was actually going to pick Carolina to win this game, excuse me. But I will say this, that since John Fox didn't mention me in that piece and he mentioned Elway and Marino like everybody does about getting a running back, I'm going to stick with him anyway because I like him. I like him at home. A lot of momentum. I'm going to stay with the Carolina Panthers. I was going to throw it away, but then I kind of tweaked you a little bit.
Lickety-split.
Why did you have to bring that up?
Monday night, Kansas City and Oakland, Dan.
Well, Kansas City undefeated going into Oakland, who desperately needs to win. There's no way they want to go 2-5. Big game for them in the black hole. I'm getting a feeling here that Oakland is going to be able to pull it off. The old guys, I'm taking Oakland in an upset against Kansas City.
And you've lost your mind, too. The old guys are not going to pull this out. I'm going with Kansas City and look for a battle between Dante Hall and my dear friend Philip Buchanan, a return battle, but I'm picking Kansas City.
Well, they say that Jerry Porter is supposed to come back this week. I'll be there Monday night with Marv Albert to do the Westwood One Radio Network coverage of this game. And since I'm going to be there live in the black hole, I'm going with Oakland. Just because I want to make sure everybody
realizes that is a good idea.
You want to get out of there. You want to get out of there live. All I know is Billy Callahan announced this week that Jerry Porter will be back. We've been waiting for that to happen. I'll take the Raiders here as well. Tampa Bay and San Francisco, Dion.
This is a big game. Tampa Bay Bucks are playing some great football right now. San Francisco, even T.O., Boomer's best friend, is dropping balls. So Rice and Sapp combined last week for 6 sacks. And Brad Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson, Johnson. You can't stop it. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I like Tampa Bay as well, guys, simply because of the offensive line shuffles for the San Francisco 49ers. Something's not right. They had an opportunity last week against Seattle, let it slip. and I think it's just going to get deeper and deeper in a hole. I like Tampa Bay against San Francisco.
I tell you, T.O. is good for a drop a week. Last week he had 3 critical drops. I don't understand. Hold on to the ball for one time, will you? I'm taking Tampa.
Brad Johnson plays as good a football he has his whole career. He's going to have a big game against San Francisco. I'm taking Tampa.
All right, we got another quick one here. Jets, Houston.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn is not playing in this game. I think that's a big mismatch for the Jets to try to exploit. John Abraham is back in. Wayne Corbett is out. I'm going to go with the Jets on the road against the Houston Texans.
I picked the Jets last week to win 3 straight, so this is part 2 of that equation. I'll take the Jets today in a great one down in Houston with a late field goal win by Doug Bryant.
Oh, no. The Jets have problems stopping the run. Dominic Davis, 129 yards last week. I think Houston's be able to run the ball on the Jets, and I'm taking Houston.
You know what? That's a crazy. Hey, Jim, being in last place that you are, you're never going to catch me like this. I'm taking the Jets.
Okay, there you go. Dan's out there alone. He'll take the Texans. Good luck, guys. We'll be back with more on the NFL today in just a moment.
Let's
listen in as Shannon Sharp fires up the Broncos for their showdown with Minnesota.
You know, anytime you go on the road, it's always loud. Don't use that as an excuse. Know the guy next to you is counting on you to do your job. Do your job, baby. One more step in that destination that we headed. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3, Broncos!
Dad, Timmy hit a home run.
Great. Put the little slugger on.
Hello?
I hear you got a big hit today, Timmy.
I sure did, Grampy. I won the game.
Sure wish I could have been there.
I did too. Because that's what it said on my birthday and at Christmas when my baby sister was born and on Halloween.
Simple, really. If we could get everybody in the country to drive the all-new Chevy Malibu, we think you'd agree. It's just about perfect.
Oh, check this out. Dumb dog. So predictable. Domino's Philly cheesesteak pizza.
No drooling this time.
Guys like Philly cheesesteak. Guys like Domino's pizza. That's why Domino's created the new Philly cheesesteak pizza. Get a medium for only $9.99 and any second medium for just $5 more. Get the door. It's Domino's new Philly cheesesteak pizza.
Making deliveries at Hendrick Motorsports is one of the best parts of my job. To be around these professionals in their cars is so exciting. It really gets your blood pumping to work with such pros, which is why I'm proud to be part of the team. Northwest Auto Parts and Hendrick Motorsports, 2 quality companies working together. If they could just be a little faster, they could keep up with me.
CarQuest, the professional choice.
Is this line even moving?
No.
Put your cheese on, man. Is that hypoallergenic?
Yep.
Hey, Coach, anything?
Nothing.
The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 38.
Hey, ain't no place for women and children here today now, man. This is a violent football game. Let's get after that. Here we go. We're at 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
All right, Mazer and Tennessee Carolina ready to host Tennessee. We've got Denver, Minnesota. Dan, what do you see?
Well, I'm interested in seeing how Dante Culpepper comes off the break he has, and is he going to be healthy? Is the rust going to shake the rust and play well today?
Walls would not be able to cover Moss, but on the other hand, I tell you what, Javon Curse versus Julius Peppers in the Carolina-Tennessee game, that's a matchup you want to see.
You got to like Minnesota and Carolina, both at home, both playing against teams that are good competition. They're not teams that they're supposed to beat. I don't think they'll be a letdown in either place. A lot of momentum for those teams.
All right, guys, we want to send along our congratulations to our associate producer Andy Kaplan and his wife Carrie on the birth of Tyler Jack at 1 a.m.
All right.
Everyone is doing just fine. And for those of you scheduled to see the Jets against the Texans, we'll be back in just a moment. But for everybody else, it's game time on the NFL Today. Enjoy all the action right here on CBS. Thanks for being with us on the NFL Today.
Oh, good Jets, Charlie.
At Pro Players Stadium as the Patriots and Dolphins battle for first place in the AFC East. And what a time to be a sports fan. South Florida, the Florida Marlins in the World Series, and the Dolphins in first place.
Well, the one thing about the Patriots, they know they're not going to see sliders and fastballs. They're going to see Ricky Williams. That's what you get when you come to play the Dolphins, the NFL's leading rusher of a year ago. And if we look at the Chevrolet keys to today's game, you're going to see Ricky Williams, because the other thing he does, Dick, is hide a relatively anemic passing game.
And the magic number of 13 is the magic of the heat and humidity of September and October. New England has never won here in September and October.
And the Patriots need to forget that they're on the road and think they're at home. Tom Brady has thrown 7 interceptions. Every one of them has been in a road game.
And the Super Bowl hero from a couple of years ago, Brady, ready to go to work. If the Patriots win, they take over first place.
He was savvy enough to put millions in a tax shelter, but like most Americans, he didn't have a clue how a tax shelter works. 60 Minutes tonight.
Is it the ultimate act of betrayal? Don't miss an all-new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
All new, coming in November, only on Eyewitness News. A nightmare waiting to happen? There is a hidden danger right now in your bedroom. Eyewitness News is digging deeper.
The main entrance here has no security.
Breaking the big
I'm
stories.
Jack White. Watch my exclusive report on Eyewitness News.
Plus, the best view of news as it happens in your neighborhood. Exclusive aerials from News Chopper 12. All new, coming in November, only on Eyewitness News. Coverage you can count on. Eyewitness News this morning is growing to serve you better with live local coverage beginning at 5 a.m. on WPRI 12. Then turn to Fox Providence at 7 a.m. for live continuing coverage of the morning's top stories and accurate weather forecast with our exclusive live pinpoint Doppler radar. Plus, your updated commute from Jam Cam Traffic and News Chopper 12. Eyewitness News this morning beginning at 5 a.m. on WPRI 12 and continuing coverage at 7 a.m. on Fox Providence. It's morning news coverage you can count on.
All next week on Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy.
This week, Wheel is living in style. Plus, big rewards are at the Wheel Watchers Club at wheeloffortune.com. On Jeopardy! Which one of these contestants will be the next Jeopardy champion? Get a clue and don't miss the next Jeopardy!
Wheel of Fortune at 7, Jeopardy at 7:30. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Lottery, benefiting all Rhode Island.
It's important for us to uncover the facts so you get the whole story. Little details cannot be overlooked.
We ask the tough questions, and we hold people accountable.
There are people who know something is wrong and don't do anything about it. We find the stories people don't want you to know about.
The Eyewitness News investigators, Rhode Island's only dedicated team of investigative reporters.
Experienced.
Tough.
Fair.
Only on Eyewitness News. Coverage you can count on. Exclusive Eyewitness News mobile newsrooms. Coverage you can count on.
The following presentation of the National Football League on CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 38.
England and Miami in the AFC East, and Bill Belichick's Patriots hit with a veritable epidemic of injuries, yet 4-2, and Miami seeks its 5th consecutive win of the year.
Subway presents Fresh Starts, a glance at teams looking to turn heads this season. Subway, eat fresh.
Gotta make the tough plays, man. Gotta make the tough plays.
Mike Holmgren's Seahawks have made plenty of tough plays this season thanks to offensive leaders Matt Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander. Rookie Ken Hamlin is one of many hard hitters on a vastly improved defense. At 4-1, the Seahawks are off to their best start since 1986.
I was working in the garage and I smelled smoke. I quickly determined it was a grease fire. I knew grease fires were different from other type blazes, but I wasn't sure the best way how to handle such a conflagration. So I asked myself, what would Jared do?
I'd get a Veggie Delight on wheat, or maybe with the honey oat bread. Sorry, what was your question again?
The Veggie Delight from Subway. Eat fresh.
Ready to go here in South Florida, and Miami, after losing to the Texans in their opening game, unbeaten in the division, in first place against the New England Patriots, and their coach is with Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Dick, Bill Belichick's heard the stat all week. 0-13. His team is in Miami in September, October. Bill, what have you seen from your team this week you think might be able to turn that around?
Well, I just think we need to play a good football game. There's no secret to that. Miami's a solid team. They're good in all areas, and we need a good game execution in all 3 phases of the game.
Coach, thanks.
Belichick has done a tremendous job. We'll chronicle all the injuries. One of those just announced, Ty Law, their all-pro cornerback, unable to suit up today with a lingering bad ankle.
Yeah, we saw Law injure that ankle back in September in their game against the Jets. About 11 o'clock this morning, he was out trying to make it happen, but it just wouldn't go.
You see, heading south in the first 2 months of the season, in the entire history of this rivalry, New England has never won in 13 tries in September and October here, and you can see outscored by an average game score of 27-10.
Players will talk and talk and talk about, oh, that's all in the past. It really doesn't mean anything. That's the kind of thing that's tough to get rid of.
Especially when you're shortchanged with so many injuries on defense, you don't have that free substitution that you'd like to have. And when you're not accustomed to this humidity and heat, and it's up in the 80s and pretty high humidity, we had some brief showers this morning. It will be a test of the Patriots. Charlie Rogers and Travis Minor are deep to return. Adam Vinatieri to kick it off from the infield dirt. Of course, this is the last game of the season where the players will have to deal with that hard infield surface.
Dick, the point about dealing with the heat and the humidity, when you come from the north, it's easier to do earlier in the year than it is to have to do it later on in November and December.
Vinatieri, good kick, sends Rodgers halfway into the end zone, and Miami will start from the 20-yard line with their quarterback Jay Fiedler. His team off to a solid 4-1 start, despite the fact that his own passing numbers are modest at best. Tim Ruddy, the veteran at center, will call Miami's blocking schemes against that ever-changing New England defense. And Ricky Williams leads the Dolphins in rushing and touchdowns. Weather 84 degrees, humidity over 60%, very little breeze today. And as you saw, partly cloudy skies. Fiedler and the Dolphins go to work first.
Hey, right here, Ted.
Fiedler, who is a solid runner and has made some tough yards there. And last week we saw him throw a vicious block to lead Ricky Williams to a touchdown. And here is Williams for a yard, maybe 2 on first down. Matt Chatham, the linebacker from South Dakota, makes the stop. And here's a look at the starters for the Patriots. Richard Seymour, he's only 23, but a emerging star in the defensive line for New England. Teddy Bruschi leads the Pats in tackles, had an interception TD earlier this season. And rookie Asante Samuel starts for Pro Bowler Law at cornerback. Law is out with an ankle.
That's Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator, a longtime Bill Belichick ally, and they think the same.
Fiedler on 2nd and 8. Off play action. Fires downfield, complete, and what a catch! Hanging on to the ball is James McKnight when Rodney Harrison drilled him. First down at the 39.
Well, the one thing you know about Rodney Harrison, if you're going to come across the middle of the field, he is going to let you have it. That is as big a hit as you will ever see a safety make on a receiver downfield.
And to McKnight's credit, able to hang on to the ball. 17-yard gain. Williams, nothing inside, heads outside, and dragged down by number 97, Jarvis Green. From LSU, a fourth-round pick a year ago. He's playing because Ted Washington won't return for another month or so with that broken ankle.
The Patriots would rather start in a 3-4 defense, but this is defense out of necessity. They have more healthy defensive linemen than they do linebackers. Willie McGinnis wasn't able to go today because of a variety of injuries. Teddy Johnson is down. Roosevelt Colvin gone from the year, and Romeo has to make an adjustment. You got more linemen, you're going to go with a 4-3.
Second and 11 for Fiedler. Fires to the far side, had to throw it away as pressure came early. Chambers was the intended receiver.
It is hard to believe that the Patriots this early in the season have sustained this many injuries to their defensive unit. Take a look at that right there. Those are guys, some out, Colvin on the left, they're out for the year. Law's been bothered for the last month. Washington, McGinnis, Vrabel, these guys will be back. Johnson will be back. And when you add to that, the day, the week before the opener, they released Lawyer Malloy, their defensive captain. It's amazing that the Patriots are 4-2 given those injuries.
Third and long. And Fiedler drifts the throw. Fires to this side, and his receiver, Chris Chambers, had slipped as he made his cut, and out comes the punting team for Miami. New England has not given up a touchdown in the first quarter since week 1 in that disaster up at Buffalo. Troy Brown, the all-time leading punt returner in New England history, both in yards and chances, stands on the infield dirt inside the 20. Matt Turk, the veteran from Wisconsin Whitewater, second duty here in Miami, sends a booming spiral. Brown from the 16. And he's smothered at the 18. Led by Brendan Iambadesio, the younger brother of Femi Iambadesio, who will start at fullback for Miami today.
Enter Southwest Airlines take your team to the Super Bowl sweepstakes, and you could win a trip to the Super Bowl for you and 10 friends.
Ooh, how'd he make the list?
Brother-in-law.
Naturally.
Enter at southwest.com/Super Bowl.
Meanwhile, in London, at the headquarters of a global finance company, nothing is happening. Simultaneously, at the headquarters of a global hackers co-op,
Nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing.
all because of a network that protects itself.
So what's happening?
Nothing.
Recently, motor oils were torture tested under conditions beyond anything a car would ever face. The exciting results? Castrol Syntec performed better than the leading 5W30 conventional oil. Castrol Syntec. Everything else is just motor oil.
Applebee's Take Two is back.
It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby. Make a dream come true.
Choose 2 of your favorite entrees for one mouth-watering plate. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Charles?
Scott?
Miami's first possession, 1 first down on the pass. Darius Thompson it was who took that big hit, held on. Man's only had 7 catches all year, said he wants the ball more. I'm not sure he had that in mind. Tom Brady starts from his own 18. Lots of time. Underneath, it's complete to Kevin Falk. And Falk across the 25 to the 26, pickup of 8 yards. Tom Brady 24-12 as the New England starting quarterback. His passing numbers down from a year ago. Damian Woody again moves to left guard, replacing the injured Mike Compton. And Troy Brown, his 19 catches, leading the Patriots again, but he has only 1 touchdown. 5 defensive backs on 2nd and short. And Brady's going to throw it away. Fourier, the tight end, was the closest Patriot. Here are the starters for the Dolphins. Jason Taylor, most productive game of the year last week in Jacksonville, a sack and 2 forced fumbles. Zach Thomas leading the Dolphins in tackles for the 7th consecutive year. And Pat Surtain following last year's Pro Bowl season with 4 interceptions this year. Dave Wanstead in his 4th season as the head man on the sidelines of the Dolphins. Michael Cloud in the backfield on 3rd and 2, and he's toppled shy of the first down. Well, this Miami defense, after losing at home to the Houston Texans in the last 4 wins, they have not allowed an opponent more than 10 points. If they do that again today, that would be a franchise record. 5 straight games without allowing more than 10. And that defense shows its strength on that first series.
A real disappointment for New England when you get 8 yards on first down and you're facing just a 2nd and 2 and you don't convert. That is terribly disappointing for New England.
Ken Walter to punt, and Charlie Rogers, the veteran return man, at the 30, fumbles or muffs the ball. But I believe Terrell Buckley was there to cover for Miami. Yes, Buckley was out on a wing, right on the spot to be able to fall on the muff punt by Rogers. It'll be Miami's ball when we return. No score, and the Dolphins will have it at their own 31.
Make it safe. Make it useful. Make it strong. And then, make it beautiful.
Hey guys, how about a little heads up next time?
Hey, send her a picture of that guy. Ooh, I'll get you a close-up.
Be there with the most win-ever minutes and a T-Mobile camera phone.
T-Mobile, get more.
What you doing, Brian?
I'm just putting my name and address in these bottles and sending them out to sea. Hopefully someone will find them and contact me someday.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Why? Why do you torture me, Brian Henderson of 12 Maple Lane?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Brian. Oh, nice to meet you.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Friendly, nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. Staples, that was easy. And by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View, stylish midsize L300, and the fun-to-drive Ion.
How close New England came to recovering this ball. The muff goes right through Rogers' head. Oh, there it is. Look at that. And I don't know how that is. For some reason, Akins just couldn't even. It's like his arms they wouldn't work. He was willing them to reach out to the football. And you see both these teams last week, substandard in the yardage. They really got pushed around, but they won the turnover battle and the game.
2 tight end formation for the Dolphins. And they give it to Ricky Williams. Stutter steps, but can't find the hole and has to fight for a couple. Akins, who just missed recovering that muff, in on that tackle. Which of these 2002 division winners has been the biggest disappointment in 2003? Jets, Raiders, Eagles, Steelers, 49ers. Cast your vote at NFL.com.
Well, one of them, I don't want to say which one, actually played in a championship game last year and a Super Bowl.
Coming this way?
It's disappointing when you're 2-4.
Yes, it is.
Fiedler goes deep. And it's Thompson, and it is intercepted on the carom. Picked off by Eugene Wilson, the rookie from Illinois. His third pick of the year. A flag is down.
I think Asante Samuel, the corner, the rookie who's starting out there in place of Ty Law, got his hand on the ball.
Darius Thompson was the intended receiver. Seemed that he had it for a moment, and then on the juggle, Samuel able to dart in.
Jerry Austin's our referee today. He's going to sort this out.
We have an interception on the play, on the tackle, personal foul, grabbing of the face mask, number 83, 15 yards, first down,
Eugene Wilson, one of the youngsters, called to duty by Belichick on that defense.
Number 22 has the coverage. That's Samuel, and you can see the bumping, and he has just outstanding coverage on Thompson. He doesn't know where the ball is. He never does turn around to the football, but he gets a hand on it. There's a little luck involved there when you don't even know where the football is, and yet you're still able as a corner to get a hand on it.
First down is Kevin Falk across the 45 to the 46 after the 15-yard penalty for the face mask. Wilson, he's in there as when Lawyer Malloy was sent to Buffalo, he was in. Asante Samuel makes his presence felt very early in this game.
Well, Samuel, Wilson, and Warren are obviously rookies, but they're starting as well. Dan Klecko will figure into the rotation, but when's the last time you saw a defensive unit starting 3 rookies in a game?
2nd and 6. Underneath, complete to Falk. Across the 50 and to the Miami 46, and the Patriots have their initial first down of the game. Sammy Knight, unrestricted free agent pickup from New Orleans after 6 years with the Saints, and Dave Wannstedt high in praise of Knight. He said he's taken a lot of running plays that last year might have been 5- and 6-yard gains and reduced them to 2 with his quick reaction.
Well, he has been a guy that hasn't received a lot of publicity, but you're right, Dave Wannstedt very quick to say he's been a difference maker for us.
Empty backfield on first down, just shy of the 45. Now Falk, the running back, in motion, and then a draw play, and that didn't fool the Dolphins a bit. Junior Seau and his partner at linebacker Zach Thomas were all over it.
Well, I think Falk, it took so long for him to get back into the backfield. I think everybody outside of Broward County saw him coming. And certainly you're not going to run one of those past guys like Zach Thomas and Junior Seau.
Loss of a yard. Over 70,000 here at Pro Players Stadium. In the bright sunshine. Patriots in Dolphin territory, and it's another draw and another very little. And then Falk able to wiggle free for a couple 3 yards down to the 43-yard line. Knight again along with Thomas in on the tackle. Antoine Smith is not active today. Larry Centers has been released, the veteran fullback and receiver who is the all-time running back in NFL history in terms of number of pass catches, has been released, and Falk helped to the sideline, so they're down to Michael Cloud as the running back. McCrary at the moment, the fullback, is the lone setback. Throw into the flat, complete for short yardage to David Gibbons, second-year receiver from Notre Dame, but well short of a first down. Sam Madison, veteran at the corner, just had that one read perfectly.
And that's one of those pass patterns I know that drives the fans crazy. It doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't get you into field goal range. It certainly doesn't get you the first down unless the guy's going to break 2 or 3 tackles. So it's pretty much of a wasted play. It goes down as a completion, but meaningless.
So out of field goal range, Walter will hit a high dying kick that Rodgers Fair catches. Let's go. And it takes a Miami bounce out to about the 13-yard line. And with it, a timeout. First quarter, 6:55 left. No score.
There's more than one victory lane.
Don't like waiting in line? At Staples, we'll get you in and out fast so you can get on with your day. Staples, that was easy.
With a 140 horsepower engine and responsive handling, we put the fun back into the compact car, the Saturn Ion. Get a new 2004 Saturn Ion 2 or Ion 3 with 0% APR financing and $1,000 towards your down payment. Excludes Ion 1. For restrictions, see your retailer.
No one's been able to make the perfect chicken strip with the right chicken.
So this is chicken?
The right breading.
These are very dry.
The right sauce. Till Wendy's found a better way. Introducing Wendy's home-style chicken strips. Big pieces of breast filet with your choice of delicious Heartland Ranch, Deli Honey Mustard, and spicy Southwest Chipotle.
Nice.
Try Wendy's new home-style chicken strips. It's better here. And remember, you can eat great even late.
Thursday, on a scorching Las Vegas day, what's inside this car has CSI feeling the heat.
I don't get people.
All new. Then, a child prodigy disappears.
Why would anyone want to take my daughter?
There's hope of finding her, but the clock is ticking.
I don't have time to screw around anymore.
All new Without a Trace after CSI Thursday.
A reminder, folks, tonight on CBS, 13 years ago, a respected father was found murdered on the wrong side of town, and now a new investigation will reveal a shocking family secret. Don't miss TV's most watched new drama, Cold Case, tonight after 60 Minutes on CBS. Junior Seau equipment change. You can see the humidity and heat here, how heavily he's perspiring. And here comes Ricky Williams, and he'll make a defense sweat as he goes out to the 30-yard line and a first down.
You meet Ricky Williams, you talk to him, you pass him in a hallway, you look at his physical build. None of it would lead you to believe that he could have a burst like this and such speed to the outside. Very patient. He lets his line set up the blocks. But Ricky Williams, look at the juke to the inside, and then it really was a fine play by Asante Samuel, not allowing Williams to get around to the outside. Darius Thompson had a good block at the point of attack as a receiver, but Williams so deceiving with his speed.
18 yards. Now the throw underneath is complete to Chambers, and he has what appears to be another first down, and then fumbles the ball. Rodney Harrison picks it up for the Patriots, and he's tackled at the 25-yard line. Chambers trying to get another extra yard, and Chris Akins came over and hit him, and there was a little bit of theft out there in broad daylight.
Chambers arguing that forward progress should have brought a whistle. This is nothing but a great effort by Chris Chambers. Now right there, I would have blown the whistle when he was hung up and straight up and down. Tyrone Poole got that ball out of there, but I would have thought the whistle would have blown.
Let's see if we
Dave
listen.
Wanstead's so upset. There comes a point in time where you try to protect the guy, and right there, I would have thought a whistle would have blown, but it didn't.
And Rodney Harrison, who has been playing terrific football for Bill Belichick and drew very high praise from his coach, takes it downfield. Incomplete at the 20-yard line for Troy Brown. Moreland Greenwood there to cover for the Dolphins.
As a player, Dick, you're conditioned. You play until you hear the whistle blow. And right there, I think it's a case where Chambers expected the whistle and didn't get it.
I couldn't hear the whistle, but maybe there was one in there.
Lance Barrow, our producer's telling us that he could hear it there. I couldn't hear it through our headset either.
Here's Falk. He's straightened by the good hit. and make short yardage down to about the 22. That'll bring up third down as Terrell Buckley, the 5th defensive back, in to make the tackle on Falk. He leads the Patriots in rushing this year, 263 yards, and thrown in 12 catches as well.
Well, last year for the Patriots, Antoine Smith was the heavy-duty back. He had 5 times as many carries as Kevin Falk. And Falk has worked his way into the mix through injuries to Smith, but the Patriots like his productivity and his explosiveness.
Third down and 6. Brady underneath, wide open is Falk. He's to the 15-yard line, and that'll be enough for a first down. Miami, mind you, has not allowed a touchdown in the first quarter this entire season. We have just under 5 minutes remaining in the first period today.
Excellent pass protection by the Patriots. Tom Brady had a while to stand back there in the pocket and find somebody to throw to. The pocket formed around him. The ends were rushed upfield. And Falk had to make the last 3 yards on his own, but a good first down pickup for the Pats.
And a third down conversion, their first in 3 attempts today, Dan. They were 1 for 11 against the Giants last week on third down and still won.
But this is a great red zone defense for the Dolphins. 2 out of 15 is all they've given up.
Falk caught in the backfield by Zach Thomas for a loss.
He scrapes outside. Zach Thomas completely untouched. Watch him come right upfield. And again, there's a guy who's got a very deceiving burst. He can close that last 2 yards. He's not a real athletic looking guy in an understatement, but he has got a 2-yard burst to the tackle that is really exceptional.
And a tremendous linebacker mentality. Brady dumps it off complete to Troy Brown, looking for a block, is able to elude one tackler, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. Good effort by Brown, the veteran receiver, who is moving up the list of all-time Patriot pass catchers. Started the year with 418.
And Dick, this is what the Dolphins know is coming. An isolation on Zach Thomas with Troy Brown. They spread the field, send everybody in different directions, and leave it where Zach Thomas has to try to tackle a wide receiver. And that is a way to finish it off as Brock Marion buries Troy Brown.
3rd and 5 from the 10. 6 defensive backs, empty backfield. Brady, quarterback draw, doesn't get there. He needed 5, picked up about 3.5. And Wale Ogunleye, who has been playing great at defensive end for the Dolphins, makes the tackle.
That's quarterback draw all the way, and Ogunleye just gets in there. He reads it perfectly. A lot of times you'd think a good pass rusher like Wally was just going to burst upfield, but he honored his responsibility. Took his 1 step, fell back inside, and kept the Patriots from getting a first down.
So on comes the place kicker Adam Vinatieri to try a 30-yard field goal, as once again the Dolphins have denied the touchdown in the red zone. And Vinatieri make that 25 yards on the field goal, and Bill Belichick's Patriots take advantage of the fumble recovery by Harrison to take the early lead.
Honey, what are you doing?
I'm registering for the wedding.
Hey, send her a picture of that one. Nothing says I love you like chrome pipes.
Be there with the most whenever minutes and a T-Mobile camera phone.
T-Mobile.
Get more.
Yeah, it'll be good to see everyone. But let's stay someplace cool this year. Mom and Dad need to live a little... modern. Call you right back.
Lots of photos and everything else you need to choose the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com.
SRX Performance Utility. Breakthrough.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. And by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention.
Miami's world-famous eatery, Joe's Stone Crab, and these stunning views of Miami and Globe Players Stadium, courtesy of the Saturn Lightship. The entire Saturn Lightship team hopes you're enjoying CBS's coverage of the NFL. Vinatieri, a 25-yard field goal to open the scoring with 2:24 remaining in the first period, and he'll kick it off to Charlie Rogers. Rogers a 90-yard touchdown last year with Buffalo on a kickoff return. And he's got a little daylight, breaks into the clear for a moment, and then tackled from the side at the 36-yard line. Good field position for the Dolphins. They trail 3-0 here in South Florida.
A definite edge. Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
At CDW, we ship over 100,000 IT products to customers every day. So how can we do it even faster? One word: wormholes.
Need PCs fast? Turn to IBM during CDW's PC event for fully loaded desktops starting at $499 with eligible trade-in.
Now I just need to figure out that whole space-time continuum thing.
For the top brand IT products you need, when you need them, you can always expect more from CDW.
Did you know that a car hitting a wall at 40 miles per hour hits with the same force as if it fell off a 5-story building? It's not easy getting through to teenagers today. So at Liberty Mutual, we produced a video especially for teens about car safety, because we'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe on the road.
Liberty Mutual. It's more than insurance. It's insurance in action.
Now for 60 miles per hour. Wasn't that fun?
The Tennessee Volunteers drive into Alabama to take on Shawn Williams and the Crimson Tide. The SEC on CBS next Saturday.
And welcome back with a reminder Tuesday on CBS. The creator of JAG takes you inside the secret world of Navy NCIS. Mark Harmon guest stars. Special episode of JAG at a special time Tuesday, 8, 7 Central on CBS. Now look at that. It's tough to get a World Series ticket Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. It'll be the Marlins and Yankees here.
Good luck with that one. Yeah, I'm just sure a lot of gals out there with tickets are looking for somebody else's husband and kids.
Happy homemaking, huh? Ricky Williams out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 7 on first down. It's one of the few stadiums that are multi-purpose. Baseball and football is Pro Player Stadium, the Metrodome in Minneapolis, out in Oakland at the Coliseum and Qualcomm Stadium. That'll change next year when the Padres move into their new stadium downtown San Diego across from the convention center.
There's the baseball field. You know, the cookie cutter stadiums of the 60s have pretty much all been replaced. Philadelphia, St. Louis, Atlanta,
Cincinnati,
Pittsburgh.
Fiedler has a wide open receiver, the fullback Ian Badejo, and caught 6 last week against Jacksonville, playing for the injured Rob Conrad. Roman Pfeiffer there to get him out of bounds.
Teddy Bruschi, you see him right here coming right up the middle, and boy, he's picked up effectively, and that gives Jay Fiedler all the time in the world to get it out here to Ian Badejo. A really good story for the Dolphins. Ian Badejo out of football last year, and Teddy Bruschi would have liked the shot at the quarterback but denied. But this guy, years with the Ravens, nice to see him back in the game.
First down at the Patriots 47. Williams nothing to the right, and then he is corralled by Richard Seymour. Here is a young star Richard Seymour from Georgia, the defensive end. Bonnie?
Well, Dick, the Patriots have not allowed a 100-yard runner this year. Music to Ricky Williams' ears. But the thing Bill Belichick really harped on with his defense, he said, always assume you are at the point of attack. He might start at one end of the field, wind up on the other end, kind of like that busted play. He went 14 yards for a score last week against Jacksonville. He said to his players, just when you think you're out of the play, you might find yourself back in it.
Well, that was a good look at it right there because Seymour stayed home and Williams came right to him.
Travis Minor is in now for Ricky Williams as Fiedler on 2nd and 10. Staggers, gets out of trouble. A flag is down, however, and so is Fiedler at the 48-yard line. Ty Warren finally made the tackle. Bobby Hamilton there as well, and holding is the call against Miami.
Holding, 61 offense, penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Center Tim Ruddy guilty of the foul.
Dave wants that just crazy over the number of penalties this Dolphins team is incurring. They only had 11 of them last week for 149 yards, multiple holding calls, 3 interference calls. They had a roughing the punter call.
Twice they had 1st and 30.
I'm surprised Dave hasn't plucked himself bald.
Final seconds of the first quarter if they get it off, and apparently will not. That is the end of the first period. It ends with Fiedler and the Dolphins looking at 3rd and a dozen. It's the New England Patriots 3, the Miami Dolphins nothing. We'll return to Pro Player Stadium after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Base camp, 17,000 feet. Whose idea was this? Fortunately, with a laptop powered by Centrino, Intel's mobile technology, you can see a friendly face wirelessly from thousands of places, even if you can't feel your fingers. Intel Centrino mobile technology.
The Blitz is on. So avoid the rush and run out and get the Hulk 2-disc special edition. Unleash the groundbreaking special effects secrets that are too big for one DVD. It'll blow you away. Hulk. Buy it October 28th.
Philly cheesesteak pizza.
No drooling this time.
Guys like Philly cheesesteak. Guys like Domino's Pizza. That's why Domino's created the new Philly cheesesteak pizza. Get a medium for only $9.99 and any second medium for just $5 more. Get the door. It's Domino's new Philly cheesesteak pizza.
It still says transmission complete, but that's not true because the paper won't go into the machine. It's not being fed.
FedEx delivery for you.
Just toss it on my desk.
You got it.
Yes, I'm pressing receipt now. Pressing receipt, nothing's happening. It's flashing A7. No, I do not know what that means. If I knew what it meant, do you think I'd be calling you right now?
FedEx Freight.
Owner's menu.
Now along with Express and Ground. Fast, reliable service. With a money-back guarantee. Relax, it's FedEx.
Jackie Collins' Hollywood Wives is a TV Guide movie pick of the week.
It's hot.
Don't miss this guilty pleasure that's classic Collins.
To true love and divorce.
Hollywood Wives, CBS tonight.
Monday on Dave, love is in the air with Sharon Stone.
You're kind of flirting with me tonight, Dave. Is it because I'm single now?
Oh, my God, is that right?
Hubba, Dave.
Monday.
With our producer, Lance Barrow, our director, Mike Arnold, Dick Enberg, Dan Deardorff, Bonnie Bernstein. Happy you joined us here in South Florida, where the Patriots lead the Dolphins 3-0. We open the second quarter with the ball at the New England 49. Miami on 3rd down and a dozen. Enthusiastic sellout here at Pro Players Stadium. Officially, it's 3rd and 11, a long 11. And Fiedler to throw. Steps up, throws underneath to Ricky Williams. Eludes 1, eludes 2, and finally wrestled down at the 41 short of a first down by Tyrone Poole. Good open field tackle by Poole.
Tyrone Poole is only 5'8" and 185 pounds, but he is a surefire tackler. And again, look at Ricky Williams, his ability to make people miss. It's so deceiving that a big man like that, but again, Tyrone Poole chooses to take him on high and makes the tackle. That's not easily done.
Matt Turk, a 3-time Pro Bowler with the Redskins earlier in his career, sends a beautiful spiral that Troy Brown's going to let bounce. And the Dolphins will cover at about the 7-yard line as Brendan Ayanbadejo, 2 Ayanbadejos in Dolphin uniform, covers it for Miami.
What are you doing?
Shopping. The one you want. Right now at Circuit City, pay no interest for 24 months on all Hitachi projection TVs, like this 46-inch high-definition widescreen with built-in DVD player. Just $1699.99 before instant savings. Circuit City, we're with you.
Hey, barbecue boy, it's time for a new kind of barbecue, Pizzone style. Pizza Hut's new honey barbecue chicken pizzone. Barbecued seasoned white meat chicken with a sweet and tangy honey barbecue dipping sauce. Just $5.99. Get the new honey barbecue chicken pizzone on any of our tasty pizzone recipes. Just $5.99 or $2.99 when you buy your family's favorite large pizza at menu price.
We may never barbecue again.
Enjoy that barbecue taste anytime when you gather around the good stuff.
Mr. Goodwrench, who is this one and only GM expert? I gotta find this guy. You're Mr. Goodwrench.
Yep.
Which means you use genuine GM parts.
Well, actually, we all do.
Now you're just trying to throw me. Mr. Goodwrench had over 1 million hours of GM training last year?
That's right.
Doesn't leave much time for Mrs. Goodwrench now, does it?
Find Mr. Goodwrench at over 7,000 GM dealerships nationwide.
If Mr. Goodwrench were a tool, what kind of tool would he be?
A wrench?
Ooh, sorry. Miter saw is what we were looking for. Miter saw.
CBS Monday. Was it self-defense or murder? No! One agent goes up against Miami's most ruthless attorney.
You're lying. You don't have any proof.
Sean Hurd and Jay Moore guest star.
I hope you have good cause for bringing us here.
How would murder be?
It'd be great if you had the evidence.
All new CSI Miami, CBS Monday.
Easy to spot Joey Pants. He has that Friday on his car on the side of the driver's side. Friday night on CBS, FBI's undercover team goes inside the LAPD to catch a killer. Don't miss Joey Pants and the handler. That's 10/9 Central on CBS.
Not very undercover with Friday on the side of his car.
You can spot him. And on first down, Kevin Falk off the left side and makes it out to the 11-yard line. Larry Chester and Jason Taylor collaborate on the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, this is a typical Miami-New England game, played very close to the vest. Field position all important. This drive would be a success if it was just measured not in points, but just a couple of first downs to kind of get the ball on the other side of the 50.
Toss to Falk. And he is straightened up and dropped by Moreland Greenwood with Sammy Knight there, secondary support.
Moreland Greenwood had such a big game last week. Ground level from behind. This is what Kevin Falk sees. But you're going to see that stand-up straight hit by Greenwood. He's the strong side linebacker, and what a monster game he had last week. 14 tackles. That's 14 of those 19 came in the game last week.
With Junior Seau on the sidelines, Greenwood really stepped up.
Well, he had to play in the nickel situation, and he'd like to stay there, but he's out.
Brady on the sneak, and that's going to be close to the first down, or did he fumble? The scramble. And when they start pointing like that, the ball's been free. And the Dolphins able to come up with it. So Bill Belichick had an interception and a fumble recovered that led to a field goal, and now Brady on a quarterback sneak loses it. Jay Williams recovered for Miami.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can find out if the ball comes out. Tom Brady coming in behind his center, Tom Copeland, and you can see that the ball is loose before Brady's knee hits the ground. There is no question that he loses the ball. Initially, it looks like Damian Woody, his guard, recovers it. But then Woody must have lost it, and it ends up in the hands of Jay Williams for the Dolphins. But no question that that was a legitimate fumble.
And time has been called. Is Belichick going to challenge? Referee Austin goes to the far sidelines.
New England is challenging the call on the play of a fumble.
Yeah, from our view, that first replay certainly was free.
We only looked at it once. Again, 67 is Copen, but as Brady is on his way down, the ball is loose. He does not have possession of the football.
And Williams on the top of the pile somehow gets underneath there and digs it out.
In my dream, I'm the world's greatest magician. But I've cut my best customer into pieces.
Pieces? Where are my feet?
Chop. Chop.
That's bad.
There's a bit of a problem. We can't put you back together.
That's worse.
What does it mean?
You have a customer integration problem.
Can I talk to a supervisor?
It's not just the advanced technology or the world's best blades. It's the way it's all put together. No razor shaves better than Mach 3 Turbo. It's the world's best shave. We guarantee it or your money back. Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette.
What can a Tyrannosaurus Rex teach us about a retirement plan? What's big one day may disappear the next. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for those who need to rebuild. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities. Come in now for TGI Friday's double glazed ribs. They're basted with our rich Tennessee glaze, then finished with Friday's tangy barbecue sauce. Tear into double glazed ribs. Only at Fridays.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM, official information technology partner of the NFL. Gillette Mach 3 Turbo, for the closest shave with less irritation, even against the grain. And by Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count.
We're back in Pro Players Stadium, and Jerry Austin under the hood to discern whether or not that call will stand.
I'd be shocked if he ruled this wasn't a fumble.
After reviewing the play, the ball comes out before the quarterback's knee is on the ground. Therefore, it's a fumble. The call stand is made on the field. New England is charged a timeout, their first.
Pretty open and shut case. Tom Brady is fumbling with the ball to get a clean handle on it already. You can see the ball. He's lost it there. Just as his left knee is going to be the first one to touch the ground. He never fully regains possession of the football, and out it comes. So that was a nifty piece of officiating. A good call on the field, upheld in replay.
A relatively safe play. Ordinarily, a quarterback's knee winds up in a turnover, and Miami has it at the 16. Ricky Williams goes to work. Drives down to the 10-yard line, and a good pickup again on first down for Williams, who has carried the ball more this season than any back in the NFL. He has carried 134 times in the first 5 games.
What a treat it has to be for an offensive line to block for a guy like Ricky Williams, and what a luxury for an offensive coordinator like Norv Turner to have a hammer like that to use in this situation.
And we mentioned how tough the defense of Miami is in the red zone. The offense is just as good for Miami in the red zone. They've 9 touchdowns and 12 chances. And Fiedler trying to add to it. Complete underneath to Randy McMichael, the tight end, and Harrison came up with a hit. It'll be close to a first down. It is a first down. And goal.
He makes the catch right about on the 5-yard line. He's pretty much straddling it when he makes the catch. Well, here, a team, you're in a power situation at the 5-yard line. You have a first down. And again, to have a Ricky Williams in the backfield and a quarterback who's a very able runner in Jay Fiedler. Lots of options for Miami offensively.
Williams up the middle. And a yard for Ricky Williams as he's covered by Roman Pfeiffer and company.
You think Ricky Williams likes playing against the AFC East? His brethren over there, averaging 137 yards a game since 2002. Not quite the success against everybody else. He just wears you down, and he just never seems to get tired. And Dick, hasn't it been fun over the years watching him blossom personally when you sit down to talk to him?
Absolutely, a delight to be with. Cut his weight down to 226 pounds. He played as heavily as 250 at New Orleans. Fake, Fiedler throws, complete, but it's going to be for very little gain as Ian Badesha, the fullback, drifted into the flat. Teddy Bruschi was right there for the Patriots. Jarvis Green hurried Fiedler along with pressure.
Yeah, Jarvis Green, you're hoping that he goes down the line of scrimmage in pursuit. Instead, he goes upfield, and that wasn't what Fiedler was expecting, to have a guy right in his face.
Actually, the pass is complete, but a loss of a couple of yards. It's 3rd and goal from the 5.5. And Bill Belichick sends out defensive backs looking for the throw. Quick hitter. Complete. Touchdown. Chris Chambers.
What a throw by Jay Fiedler. And what a nice piece of work by Chambers holding on. There's Chambers, a quick slant right into the middle. Here's the ball right between two defenders, Poole and Akins, and that was well executed on the part of the Dolphins.
Now Miami takes advantage of the Tom Brady fumble. 16 yards later, it's a 6-yard throw. Fiedler to Chambers. And the extra point added by Olindo Mare. So Chambers, the wide receiver from Wisconsin, has his 4th touchdown of the season.
It's the winning season for the Hyundai Sonata. Protected by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. Loaded with standard features like dual front side impact airbags. But the Sonata costs $2,100 less than a Toyota Camry LE when comparably equipped. And now get an extra $1,500 cash back. The Hyundai Sonata starting at just $14,539 after $1,500 cash back. You're the winner at the Hyundai Winning Season Clearance. Going on now at your Hyundai dealer.
Mother, father, wife, husband, grandparent, or friend. I'm Penny Marshall, and chances are we all know someone who could learn from this book.
The Heart Protection Study is here. If you've had a heart attack or have diabetes, get this book that includes information about the study and treatment options. Talk to your doctor about ways that can significantly reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke, regardless of cholesterol level.
Your physician knows how important this is.
Get more information from Merck at heartprotectionstudy.com.
When quality matters, reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless.
Hey, Coach, anything?
Nothing.
Thursday. Is it the ultimate act of betrayal?
Rupert has a hell of a lot of power right now.
Oh man, this is crazy.
Don't miss an all-new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Yeah, there's nothing that concerns coaches more than giving the other team a short field, and that's exactly what Miami was presented. 16 yards, 5 plays, as Jay Williams recovered the fumble by quarterback Tom Brady, and Chambers a tough catch over the middle, 6 yards for the score.
You mean turnovers are important?
Somehow that does correlate rather heavily to victory, doesn't it? All points so far off turnovers as Bethel Johnson, a yard deep, returns Mare's kickoff, spins out of one tackle but not the second, as Travis Minor, the running back on special teams, makes the tackle. As the New England Patriots title, we remind you tonight on CBS, Catherine Morris will star in TV's most watched new drama, Don't Miss Cold Case, tonight right after 60 Minutes here on CBS.
Let's go back and look at the touchdown. Tyrone Poole right here. He's going to give Chambers the inside release because he knows he's got safety help inside. As coming into the picture right here is Chris Akins. It's his job to explode all over Chris Chambers, and he doesn't do it. Akins, that was his responsibility to cause an incomplete pass there, and he didn't get it done.
First down pass is complete to Kevin Falk, and he's run out of bounds out at the 35-yard line. Make that Deion Branch, his first catch of the game. Branch, the second-year receiver from Louisville, second on the team in catches to Troy Brown.
Well, when you talk about Deion Branch, I'm always reminded of sitting and chatting with Bill Belichick, and he said he has Terry Glenn type of talent. That's pretty lofty praise for the former Patriot receiver. And you throw Terry Glenn and everything he accomplished in this league. That's a lot to live up to for Deion Branch.
9.5 minutes left in this first half. First down, Brady. It's Falk. Good hole. And finally straightened by Brock Marion. Then the ball comes out. Was it after the whistle? Apparently not. They haven't marked it yet. It's first down Miami. As Brock Marion jars it free from Falk, and Larry Chester, the big nose tackle, falls on it.
Well, if there's a common theme today, if you're in a group of people, you better try to get two hands on a football, because this is very reminiscent of what happened to Chambers earlier. Stood up, but Brock Marion not only stands Kevin Falk up in the air, he also pulls the football free. There's Brock Marion, but watch, he works his way up to the football and pulls it out of Kevin Falk's arms. Now, how's that for doing everything by Brock Marion? And then Larry Chester, he just has to fall on it and envelop it.
11-year veteran Marion, a former Cowboy, makes the big defensive play. And now it's Fiedler looking for something big. Oh, across the middle and a leaping catch. And it's Darius Thompson down the sidelines for a touchdown. Or did he step out? No signal yet from the official on the far side. Darius Thompson has complained about getting his share of catches. What a terrific spear of this ball. But what's the huddle all about?
I think
down by contact.
Tyrone Poole had the coverage. He went for the ball and missed.
But there was contact, and Thompson's knee went down. I believe that's where they're going to mark it. At about the 21-yard line.
The receiver went into the air, caught the ball, came down, was touched. Then when he went to the ground, his knee touched. Therefore, he's down by contact.
Well, Tyrone Poole again has the coverage right up here. All right. Does his knee touch right here? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. His left knee right there touches the ground. There was contact from Tyrone Poole, minimal contact, but enough. That is the correct ruling of being down by contact.
So instead of a touchdown for Darius Thompson, it's a first down at the 23, gain of 17 on the play.
There should have been whistles blowing all over the field. We certainly didn't hear them.
Fiedler hands off to Williams, and he plows to the 20-yard line. Jarvis Green and others in on the stop.
I'm back to that play by Brock Marion. How outstanding was that, to watch a guy not only make a textbook tackle like that, stand the guy straight up, but then slide his hands up while he's got the guy stood up to the football and then rip it out. This is just an extraordinary piece of work by Brock Marion. Look at the tackle, and then his hands come up, goes right to the football, and he rips it out. Boy, you just don't see that very often. That's exceptional.
Well, when you're a father of 6 kids, you learn to have a variety of talents. Fiedler throws with a flag down, complete to Ryan Badejo, and the fullback out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And now let's check the penalty.
What talents are you referring to there?
Well, with 6, well, you know, it's tough enough with 1 or 2. But 6.
The defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
mark off 5 against the Patriots down to the 15-yard line.
Rodney Harrison just trying to come in there on the corner blitz and just mistimes it a little bit and just takes that stutter step into the neutral zone. One of the big hitters the NFL has known over the last decade. Whether in San Diego, New England, or on Mars, Rodney Harrison will drop you like a shot.
2nd down and 2. Appears to have the first down as he goes straight up the middle. Yeah, even Rodney Harrison knocking down his own teammates in the training period. He said, hey, my mom likes me. That's all that matters. I'm not trying to be the most popular player on any team. Overhead views of today's game provided by the Saturn Lightship. The team at Saturn Lightship hopes you're enjoying the unique look from high above the South Florida area. Well, Miami 10 for 13 in the red zone on offense, counting the touchdown today. Workhorse Williams to the 5, to the
3. He set that whole thing up by that little shoulder fake to the outside. He's got excellent blocking to this side of the line. Look at that. He's going to get it. Chambers is coming down to the inside. He gets it from Smith and Nails. But this little fake to the outside right there, he sells it and then comes back to the inside. And this guy, what a feel for running the football, and it's just such a luxury to see that kind of speed and power in the same package.
Add another 9 yards to the total. He has 51 yards in this first half, and caught in the backfield is Ian Badejo as they tried to fake to Williams going left and then give it up the middle, and Bobby Hamilton wouldn't buy it. The veteran defensive tackle from Southern Mississippi makes the play for a loss at the 5.
Wow. Talk about trying to surprise the defense. You're really surprising a defense when you give it to a guy who doesn't carry the football at all.
In fact,
yes,
that was his first carry of the season.
Yep, that's not carrying it at all.
Good point. 3rd down and 3 from the 5. And the Patriots want timeout. That'll be their 2nd of this first half. We have 5:18 left before the intermission in Miami.
Let's face it, there are a lot of bad drivers out there. You can't change their driving, but you can learn to avoid them. That's why at Liberty Mutual, we teach something called decision driving and offer the latest auto safety advice to keep the road safer and keep premiums down.
Liberty Mutual. It's more than insurance. It's insurance in action.
Looks like we've got some work to do.
Stronger, more comfortable, guaranteed. Wrangler 5-star premium quality denim. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Introducing Wendy's home-style chicken strips. They're big, tender pieces of juicy whole breast filet with your choice of 3 delicious sauces. When it comes to chicken strips, we have a better way. Wendy's, it's better here.
TV's best night of comedy starts with a Yes Dear Dad on Big Brother.
Hey, Julie, I locked myself out.
Then, will an old romance rekindle on Still Standing?
I told you she had a thing for me.
But I didn't know you thinged her back.
And it's time to remodel the kitchen.
This thing is old.
Easy, she's standing right there.
Everybody loves Raymond. Then, can this bachelor kick it with a soccer mom?
I find you attractive.
I'm sorry, I just took a cleat in the groin.
2.5 Men. It's an all-new night of comedy, CBS Monday. And Sharon Stone joins Dave on The Late Show.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. And by Wendy's new homestyle chicken strips. Another reason it's better here.
Miami Dolphins leading 7-3, trying to take advantage of a second fumble. This one by Kevin Falk out at the 40-yard line. It's 3rd down and 3 at the 5-yard line.
Well, the last time they were in this spot, remember they threw that quick slant to Chris Chambers, and Jay Fiedler collected a touchdown pass. I wonder if they'll have the gumption to go to the air again.
Ball in almost exactly the same spot.
Now they can get a first down without a touchdown.
Fiedler, long count. The quick throw toward the end zone. Is it good? No signal yet. And it's incomplete. Eugene Wilson up to deny Darius Thompson, who
I think
went high in the corner.
I think if Thompson holds on to this football when he hits the ground, they were going to give him a touchdown and say that he was forced out. But when he hits the ground, when the ball's going to come loose, because the official right there, he was following him all the way to see if he held on to the football. You see, he's still looking at him. I think it would have been an incorrect call because it looked like he was going to come down out of bounds anyway.
23-yard chip shot for Olindo Mare. Little satisfaction to Dave Wanstead and the Dolphins. They were looking for 7. So it remains 10-3 Miami.
Maybe next time.
SSX3, rated E for everyone.
EA Sports.
If on one hand you have 1/3 less carbs than Coors Light, and on the other the gold medal winner of the World Beer Cup, then you have a Miller Lite in each hand. Lucky you. Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
On the road and stuck trying to get business email in all the wrong places? Get Verizon Wireless Email Access and your data will travel on America's most reliable wireless network.
Can you hear me now? Good.
For all your company's wireless needs, we mean business. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
At last, the ultimate hero arrives on the ultimate format. The complete adventures of Indiana Jones on DVD.
Right.
Digitally restored and with all new 5.1 surround sound. Whip up some adventure on DVD October 21st.
One of Joe Renato's undercover agents has been murdered. The evidence points to a cop. Now his team will go undercover inside the LAPD.
That's a dangerous game.
See why critics call The Handler one of the best new shows of the season.
I'd consider keeping that hair though.
Joe Pantoliano is The Handler. All new CBS Friday.
Story of this first half, 3 fumbles. New England Patriots scoring their field goal after a fumble recovery, and then 2 fumbles in Patriot territory covered by the Dolphins that led to 10 points and the lead. Mare to kick it off. Bethel Johnson, Patrick Pass are deep. Mare, who leads the league in touchbacks with 10, doesn't get it this time. Johnson brings it out. And he's out across the 30, and a good return to the 34-yard line. Tackled there by Buckley and Moreland Greenwood.
Here's the third down play by Darius Thompson. He'll elevate, and you think the officials have a tough job. First of all, they got to determine, is it a catch? Second, would he have come down in bounds? Look at the officials, both of them looking at him. Now they'll look at each other, trying to make a determination. Thompson made it easy, though. The ball came loose, so no catch right off the bat. And there was no way, even if he'd have held on to the football, would he have been anywhere close to coming down inbounds.
5 minutes to go in the half. 10-3, Miami leads it. Brady steps up and throws underneath to Falk. And he crosses the 40 to the 41, a gain of 7. A 7-point lead Miami here. What do you have for us, Jim Nance?
All right, we got a big story brewing out of Carolina. The Panthers, of course, undefeated there at Dick and Dan, but the first quarter belonged to Tennessee, including this 4th down play where they thought they'd be lined up in punt formation. Instead, they brought in the backup quarterback, Billy Volak. It's 20-0. Let's go back to Dick and Dan.
Wow, 20-0. The Titans. A team that hasn't had an awful lot of publicity, but Steve McNair and the Titans are playing great football. Fred McCrary, who has carried the ball only one other time all year. The big fullback barrels out to the 45 and a first down, and there you see that very competitive South Division with Indy leading Tennessee by a game coming in, and Houston causing its set of problems, as Dolphin fans can well attest. 4 minutes remaining in the half here. 10-3 Miami, and a first down Patriots at their 45. Falk back in at tailback. Fake to him. Brady steps away from pressure, throws incomplete. He had Deion Branch clearing on the cross pattern, and that's right. Back to New York we go.
All right, thank you. Another unbeaten team is Minnesota. The Vikings have sacked Steve Berline 5 times in the first half. Dante Culpepper back in the lineup today, improvising here. Kelly Campbell with the catch, and now watch the move. Sets himself free for the touchdown, and it's 7-0 Minnesota. Let's go back to you.
And in that AFC West, of course, the Chiefs unbeaten. Denver only a game back, but Minnesota trying to protect their own unbeaten mark. McCrary at fullback on 2nd and 10. Quick throw on the out to Falk, and bumped out of bounds at the 46. Make that Branch again, 83 to 33, and Branch out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Bonnie?
Well, that fumble by Tom Brady on the last series isn't because of heat exhaustion, Dick. It's kind of hot out here, but there's a nice breeze and some cloud coverage. And Brady said, hey, after practicing in 40-mile-an-hour winds earlier this week, that's not a problem. What he's worried about is the end zone he's headed toward. Because of baseball, in that red zone, there's dirt, there's natural grass, and there's also artificial turf that serves as the baseball warning track.
Yeah, that's lots to look ahead on the ground. Here's Michael Cloud, and he appeared to get the ball across the 45, and if he did, that's a first down.
Well, right now, for this New England offense to be worrying about what's going on in that end zone down there is like me worrying about what I'm going to eat on Thanksgiving. They better get a little closer to it before they start worrying about what the end zone is made of and comprised of. This is the first time that they're making a run at it. They were down to the 5, had to settle for a field goal, but that was at the other end of the field.
2:43, clock running here at the end of the second quarter. First down inside the 45. Falk runs into his own blockers and then picks up about 3. Zach Thomas and Ogunleye make the tackle. When playing fantasy sports, it's a slam dunk, folks. To use CBS Sportsline, they offer games for every level of player, and you can join a league or you can start your own today by clicking on fantasy at cbssportsline.com. And we're approaching the 2-minute warning. The Patriots have just 1 timeout left. Miami with all 3 of theirs. And there is the 2-minute mark. 10-3 here in Miami.
Of all the innovations of the past 100 years, arguably the greatest are the forward pass and the ability to catch the forward pass. Introducing the Canon Digital Rebel, a 6.3 megapixel SLR with the revolutionary Digic chip and CMOS technology. The game has changed. The Digital Rebel, the culmination of 68 years of Canon know-how.
In the red zone, the best way to defend against the play is to stop it before it starts. That's why I use new Red Zone deodorant from Old Spice. It has a new odor defense system that helps stop odor at its source before it starts. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick or something else. Hey, it's better to be defensive than offensive. New Red Zone deodorant from Old Spice.
Who cares what's in a hot dog? When diverse, cast-aside elements come together to form something great, that's the American way. No, sir. Far better to ask yourself, what are you made of? What spice do you add to the national knockwurst? What flavor do you contribute to the high life?
And don't run off at halftime. The next halftime report coming up with Team Nance and company with all the early scores and highlights. Both of these teams rank in the top 10 rushing defense, and boy, the yards are tough to earn.
Yes, what's new? It's New England, it's Miami. It's always a scratch and claw football game. Now, New England has made their way into Miami territory. They made the mistake the first time they were in the red zone. They settled for a field goal instead of a touchdown. That's a dangerous precedent on the road. They're inside Miami territory now, inside the 2-minute warning, Dick. They've got to convert this into some points.
2 minutes to go on the half. 2nd and 8 at the Dolphins 42. Tight end Fourier in motion, and the give to Falk. Finds a little hole into the infield dirt area and stacked up. Boy, the whistles are slow, aren't they? And finally, after being pushed back a couple 3 steps, we hear the whistle as Sammy Knight and Arturo Freeman, 2 defensive backs, led the charge. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Well, if ever there was a time to go back to training camp and remember all the drills where you're trying to hold on to a football while everybody's trying to rip it out, it's time to revert back to form for everybody handling the ball. Whoa, look at that. Kevin Falk trying to get up. He gets a cleat right in the face from Sammy Knight. Inadvertent, I'm sure.
3rd and 2. The throw is incomplete. It was low and away as Brady had to get rid of it as he's hammered. Bethel Johnson was the intended receiver.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. 99 defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Oh my, instead of 4th and 2, an automatic first down plus 15 yards.
Well, Jason Taylor hasn't been anywhere near the quarterback so far this game. He puts a great move, but he takes 2 steps and then shoves Brady. I'm sorry, but the second step, it's going to bring that. It's going to bring it. And you can tell Dave Wanstead turns away, not because he's upset with the officiating. That's his player. You just can't take a second step and then shove the quarterback like that. You don't have to hit him with your helmet. You don't have to do anything violent.
First down at the 21 after the penalty. The Patriots with a disadvantage of working from the infield dirt area. Brady steps up and throws complete to Troy Brown, and he is stacked up at about the 3, still on his feet. And the way things have gone today, it's almost a better part of wisdom to go down once you're in that crowd, getting the ball pulled away.
Well, there, first of all, sensational pass protection. The play action to Falk, but Tom Brady had all the time to survey the middle of the field. And look at Troy Brown. Look at him put both hands on that football. There's a veteran for you. He's got 5 guys trying to rip the football loose, and he held on to it.
Ball at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal. A little confusing with the infield foul line dirt on the outside. Michael Cloud, the running back, but they gave it inside to McCrary instead.
I think Dan Klecko, actually.
Dan Klecko, number 90, who has been used as a fullback in short yardage. Yeah, they did give it to the son of the great former New York Jets defensive lineman, but he's unable to get in the end zone. Only 20 seconds left in this first half.
Your boss expects a report in 1 hour, but it's a gorgeous 74 degrees outside. So, you handle it like a true professional. With a laptop powered by Centrino, Intel's mobile technology, you can work wirelessly in thousands of places, even Bryant Park, under your favorite tree. Intel Centrino mobile technology.
It's 10-3 Miami, but the Patriots only a couple of yards away from trying to tie it up before halftime against a defense that has allowed only 4 touchdowns all season long. Dan Klecko is lined up at fullback. Mike Cloud, the tailback. Brady into the end zone. Touchdown to the tight end, Christian Fourier. A flag is down in the end zone.
You can see the head linesman pointed towards Miami, and the crowd reacts. I mean, pointed toward New England, rather.
Pass interference, 68 offense, 10 yards, 18 second down.
Tom Ashworth, a tackle called for pass interference.
Well, he's lined up at an eligible position. And Ashworth, as he's going downfield, actually runs in. And it almost looked like a pick. Ashworth is lined up right over here. Take a look at him as he releases. Right there, you can see from behind. He runs right, he runs right into the back of Marions and Tommy Hendricks and picks him off. Monster penalty.
Outside the 12-yard line, Brady number 12 throws back and incomplete and no flag, and Jason Taylor putting the pressure on Brady. Deion Branch in the end zone couldn't get around the defender.
Jason Taylor gets a great jump off the football, but the biggest thing there is he's working against Daniel Graham, a tight end. I'm sorry, no tight end in the National Football League is capable of blocking Jason Taylor in a pass rush situation.
So the touchdown pass to Fourier nullified by the penalty against Ashworth for offensive interference. So out comes Vinatieri to try to salvage 3. It would be a 30-yard attempt. Miami calls its first timeout. 7 seconds left in the half. We'll wait for Vinatieri to see if he can make it 10-6.
How about something with a pool?
A hunting lodge. Kids will love that. How about something with a pool?
Lots of photos. Another way Expedia helps you find the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com.
And welcome back to Pro Players Stadium. The guys back in New York are set to give you all the top scores and highlights of the early games on our Nextel halftime report. So stay tuned. To follow the final seconds here of this first half as Vinatieri has it lined up. A 30-yard attempt.
Dick, it's the age-old story, though. When you get inside the 10-yard line and you settle for field goals instead of touchdowns, more often than not, it comes back to haunt you at the end of the game.
And the offensive interference call against Ashworth costing New England the touchdown that would have tied it. Vinatieri knocks it through. And there's Ashworth. Tackle called into play because of the injury to Adrian Clem that's cost Clem his season.
And again, this dirt is still here because of the Marlins being in the World Series. And a good job of spotting the ball, and everybody from the kickers to the defensive linemen agree that you've got to have a whole different mindset trying to get good footing on the dirt.
So 2 seconds. So it figures that Vinatieri will just scuff his kickoff. It gives us a chance to remind you there's our all-star lineup. Monday nights includes the Emmy Award-winning Everybody Loves Raymond, CSI Miami. Sharon Stone's going to be with David Letterman on the Late Show tomorrow night, all here on CBS, America's most watched network. Oh, substantial drive, the best of the game by either team, as Tom Brady took his team all the way down to the 2-yard line but couldn't knock it in the end zone for the touchdown. Saturday, college football, Home Depot SEC on CBS with the Tennessee Vols and the Alabama Crimson Tide. It all begins with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman on Olympus College Football today. Next Saturday, Tennessee, Alabama here on CBS. Rodgers is deep, but it doesn't figure he's going to get the ball.
Can you say knuckleball, fungo ball, whatever you call it?
There it is. Round ball right up the middle of the infield. And finally covered by the Dolphins, and that'll do it for the first half. Donald Lee, the backup tight end, there to cover.
That looked like my kickoff return.
Looked like your kickoff.
You put it on the air a couple of weeks ago. 0 yards. That's how you get a 0-yard kickoff return.
Oh, those great memories. They just come flushing out.
See, it wasn't Jay Williams' fault. He covered the ball. That's all there was to it.
So at the half, it's Miami 10 and New England 6 in a defensive battle the first 30 minutes here in hot and humid South Florida. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Your defense has had such a big impact, Dave once said. How about creating opportunities for the offense?
Well, you know, we're hanging in there defensively. I mean, we've turned it over, you know, twice, 2 critical times. I think we'll be fine on offense. We just can't give them anything, you know. I mean, you know, the scores that they have obviously came off of turnovers. The touchdown right there comes off of a questionable late hit on Brady.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
And thank you, Bonnie. So there it is, 10-6 at the half. We'll be back with the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
A respected father murdered 13 years ago.
Stabbed by a hooker was the theory.
Leaves his church-going family in disgrace.
Were you surprised that he was found on Kensington Avenue?
We were all shocked by that.
And I've never seen a guy take all his clothes off, leaving her all tidy like that.
But a new investigation will reveal a secret
Nice families don't talk about these things.
that won't stay buried.
We want you to drop my dad's case.
And I'm so close to the truth. Not a chance.
Don't miss TV's most watched new drama, Cold Case, CBS tonight after 60 Minutes.
Catch Yes Dear, Mondays on CBS. It's all here.
Looking for the best deal on a new car or minivan? Take 5. 5 days to deal with 5 ways to save at your Chrysler dealer. From now until October 20th, put no money down. Make 0 payments till March 2004. Choose 0% financing or cash allowances up to $4,000. And get a $300 gas card with every purchase or lease through Chrysler Financial. Plus, get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So take 5. But hurry. 5 days to deal ends Monday, October 20th. The best values in America just got better. See your Chrysler dealer today.
That a Hemi? Yeah!
In the 2004 F-150, you'll find the best-in-class low-end torque that'll leave the competition in the dust. All in the truck the Detroit Free Press calls the best pickup truck ever.
You think he knows the light changed?
Only one truck earned the right to be the next F-150. Now get $1,000 owner loyalty cash on the 2004 Ford F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
You've waited to get a Jeep 4x4, and now there's 5 days to deal, 5 ways to save. For 5 days only, buy with 0 down and make no monthly payments until March 2004. Plus, get 0% financing or up to a $3,500 cash allowance. And we'll also give you a $300 gas card when you finance or lease through Chrysler Financial. Add in our 770 warranty, and the best values in America just got better. But you've only got 5 days, so hurry to your Jeep dealer for 5 days to deal, 5 ways to save.
EyewitnessNewsTV.com. Log on now.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.
All right, we've got all the latest scores and highlights, including a big first-half performance by Tennessee over there in Carolinas. We welcome you to the Nextel Halftime Report. Jim Nance along with Dan, Dion, and Boomer.
You're always messing around, man. It's good. Just relax a little bit.
Right into it.
Pay attention.
Dolphins lead it down there in Miami.
Do it,
10-6, Dan.
And the game has really been sloppy so far. Turnovers on both sides, 2 each. Ricky Williams has been running the ball a little bit, 51 yards. If he gets 100, they usually win the game.
All right, guys. Unbeaten Minnesota hosting Denver today, and Steve Berline has been tormented all day by that Minnesota defense. Here's the story.
Here's the story. Dante Culpepper. Remember this guy? His back was supposed to be injured, scrambling around like he did before he left. Hooks up with Kelly Campbell right here, who falls down, get back up. Down to O'Neal. What are you thinking, baby? You got to make that play. Goes in for 47 yards for the touchdown. Steve Berline sacked 5 times, man. 2 interceptions. This is his second one of the day. I don't understand this guy, Boomer. He really can't perform up under this pressure, but Clint Portis, who has over 75 yards rushing, follows the big offensive tackle and punches it in. And then Denver still has a chance. Culpepper right here.
You're not going to believe this.
Who do you think he's looking for?
But watch what he does on the back end of it. This just seconds ago. Extra point still to come. Moss, laterals. It's being reviewed right there. Mo Williams, he laterals it too.
I hope that play makes it. That guy, Randy Moss, thinking clearly, baby.
That was good.
That's a great
How
play.
about that?
Boomer's best friend.
Steve Berline struggling, man. Boy, I'll tell you what,
sacked 5 times, intercepted twice, and had Brian Russell interception, by the way, 6 straight games. Every game this season, it ties an NFL record. Most consecutive games with a pick. Rams over the Packers, even though Bolger has been picked a couple of times. Remember, this was the site of Favre's worst ever performance, where he threw the 6 interceptions in the playoffs a couple of years ago, 3 run back the other way. Not today, but here's Tennessee just blitzing Carolina here. What's the story, Dion?
I don't know why I didn't pick Tennessee, Steve McNair. How can I go against McNair? He's the MVP of the league at this point. I don't know what formation this is. I don't even know who Billy Bolek is. I don't even know who Eddie Berline is, but they hook up, and guess what happens? His first NFL career touchdown.
Is that Berline?
17 points. Berlin. 17 points in the first quarter. I don't know his name. You tell me. Help me. Javon Curse, I know his name. He's from Fort Myers, Florida. I bet you that.
Hey, how about this? Just a moment ago, seconds ago, we're getting all these immediate updates. Extra point now is good as McNair finds Drew Bennett in the corner to make it 27-3 with 11 seconds to go in the half.
It's a blowout. It's a blowout. Oh, man.
Panthers on their way to the first loss of the season. 2 turnovers on their side. That pass you said, Billy Volek to Eddie Berlin, was on 4th down. They caught him napping on the trick play, and they thought they were going to line up in punt formation. They threw the touchdown. There's New Orleans in a wild one over Atlanta. And here's the Ravens and the Bengals, and it was Baltimore 7-0 real quick, but back comes Kitna and Cincinnati.
How about them Bengals? Let me tell you, they're showing life. And the thing about this is that this game isn't really about the Cincinnati offense as we see Corey Dillon going here. It's about the Cincinnati Bengal defense putting pressure all over rookie quarterback Kyle Bowler. But watch Chad Johnson. This is focus right here. Focus. Just stay with the ball. Ball tipped in the air. He comes down with it. Long touchdown pass for John Kitna. But the Bengals really laid it to Baltimore, 24-7 at this point. And remember, Marvin Lewis was the defensive coordinator for that great Baltimore defense that won the Super Bowl.
All right, meanwhile, over at Cleveland, they are booing Tim Couch. He's finally produced, got a field goal here just before the half, but San Diego's looking for its first win, Dan.
LaDainian Tomlinson down the sideline, big play. Can San Diego win their first game? If kicker Steve Christie right here hits a extra point, they go, or not an extra point, a field goal, they go up 6-0. Tim Couch, he will be on the bench if he keeps playing like this. Kwame Lassiter picks it off. He actually was a nice pass. He hit him right in the chest. I bet he cries after the game.
No way. He's over that now.
How about the Cowboys at Detroit?